Is Smith Lake overpriced right now? Because depending on who you ask, you're either making a great lifestyle investment or you're paying way too much for a house with a staircase that feels like a CrossFit workout. So which one is it?
Hey, I'm Jacob Sanders, your local Smith Lake Realtor. And look, if you've thought about buying or selling here on the lake, don't do anything without calling me first. I want to be your go-to for all things Smith Lake real estate and your complete 100% resource for Smith Lake.
What's up, guys? Jacob Sanders here with eXp Realty on Smith Lake. You know, after doing the recent market update and talking to a lot of buyers lately, I keep getting the same question: is Smith Lake overpriced? And the shorter answer is yes and no. So let's break it down the right way. Not emotional, not guesswork, just real perspective. So let's start here. Why do people think Smith Lake is overpriced? Well, there's really three main reasons. Prices went up fast. So over the last few years, prices jumped up pretty quickly. So if someone hadn't looked at a Smith Lake home in a while, they come back and go, wait, this is how much they cost now? Also, you're not just buying a house, you're buying water access, views, lifestyle, and the location. And those things don't show up neatly on a price per square foot spreadsheet. The third reason is expectations versus reality. You know, some people come in thinking, I want flat land, deep water, huge views, new construction, and I'd really like to stay under 500. And I'm like, hey, all right, now let's have a conversation. I'm no magician for sure. And you know what? That house exists, just not currently for sale or in this decade. Now let's look at reality and not just opinions. So far in 2026, the average sold price is around $700,000 range. Homes are selling for around 92 to 93% of their asking price. Now compare it to 2025, the average prices are actually higher than last year, but the homes are selling closer to list price. What this tells us is the market hasn't collapsed, but buyers are being more selective, and pricing really has to make sense. And one important point to note, this is not a runaway market where anything sells for any price, but it's also not a market where things are sitting because nobody wants to buy. It's more like buyers are interested, but they're not blindly in love anymore. So what are you really paying for here? You know, this is where people get it wrong. When you buy on Smith Lake, you're not just buying the house, you're buying the lot, the water, the dock, the view, and the whole lake experience. It's kind of like a beachfront property. Nobody says this is overpriced compared to a house 20 minutes inland. Well, yeah, because it's not really the same thing. Now, Smith Lake is a limited resource. There's only so much good shoreline, good water depth, and good views, and those properties really hold value differently. So where are things overpriced? Now let's be real. Are there overpriced homes on Smith Lake? Absolutely there are. And they usually fall into a few categories. Homes priced based on what the seller wants, homes with issues trying to hide behind a view, or listings that missed the market and are now chasing it. You'll see some go, hey, this is nice, but it's not that nice. And those are the ones that'll sit, expire, or they'll come back on the market later. So if you're a buyer, here's how to avoid overpaying. Look at the comparable sales, understand the lot and the water value, pay really close attention to how long it's been on the market, and most importantly, work with someone who actually knows the lake. That would be yours truly, because Zillow's not really going to tell you, hey, this dock ain't no good in the wintertime. So finally, is Smith Lake overpriced? Well, the lake itself, no, it's not. But certain listings, absolutely they are. Really, the market's pretty healthy right now, but it's not for giving bad decisions. So if you buy the right property at the right price, it really makes sense. If you buy the wrong one, well, you're going to feel it later. So if you're thinking about buying or selling on Smith Lake this year, reach out to me. I'll help you figure out what's priced right, what's overpriced, what actually fits your needs the most. I'm Jacob Sanders with eXp Realty here on Smith Lake, and you can reach out to me at 205-369-2803. You can also visit my website at jacobsandershomes.com. And if you've been wondering if Smith Lake is overpriced, I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop me a comment below, and I'll respond to it. Have a great one.